Hello friends, today I want to discuss about other Sanskrit literature than Vedic literature and epics. So in India, we have said that in ancient period Sanskrit was used as our language of routine life. Our so many scriptures, Smriti Granths, and knowledgeable books have been written in Sanskrit language, which contended with good combination of religious life and worldly aspects of life. Purans, scriptures, Smriti Granths are considered as book of religion and knowledge. But mainly if I want to talk about Purans, Purans have played important role in explaining early Vedic religion into the present structure of the Hindu religion. So, remember, I want to say one thing that earlier Hindu religion was not a word, but Sanatan Vedic religion was a word. So, from Vedic religion to the Hindu religion is the travel of Hindu religion, and it has been traveled by way of Purans. During this period, there are 18 Purans were written, and in this 18 Purans, so many informations have been given in some explanatory way, dialogue forms, historical way, poetic forms. In so many ways, the detail of the knowledge has been described. Right? Another point I want to discuss, many scriptures and Smriti Granths, see, our early literature was written in two ways, Shruti and Smruti. Shruti means listen and Smruti means to memorize. As one person speak, other person listen and he write. So the Mahabharata was written as a Shruti Granth because it is a spoken that Veda Vyasa had narrated and Lord Ganesha had written. So it is considered as Shruti Grantha. Grantha means book. And also it is said that Manu Smruti, Shukra Niti, this, when the word use Manu Smruti, Smruti means memorized, I told just. So these books which described the religious master's words by their follower convert into the book format. So it is called Smruti Grantha. These scriptures dealt with, okay, I am talking about some scriptures. Scriptures means knowledgeable book. Scriptures deal with science, technology and philosophy. As example, Manu Smruti describe about system of life. Shukraniti describe about system and procedure to follow for morality. And Kautilya or the Chanakya or the Vishnu group, Chanakya, Kautilya or Vishnu Gupta, both all are same. He has narrated and described and written book on the political science named as Arthashastra. So in that way, you understand very well that our earlier scholars have described so many narrations for mathematics, for science, for arts, and for other field of sciences. For the mathematics and field of science, we will discuss in the other chapter, not here in a detail, but is being described by our religious scholar. We use the word rishi for them. Rishi means scholar, person of any specific subject is considered to be Rushi or Rishi. The Smriti Granth, as explained, religious teachings, laws and customs. I told Mani Smriti is for teaching the people how to live the life. So in that way, our Sanskrit book have narrated so many required studies. Okay, my friends. So here I discussed about other Sanskrit literature than epics and Vedic religion. Now I want to discuss about literature written in Gupta period. So remember here that Gupta period is considered to be the golden period for the arts, golden period for the growth of literature in Sanskrit. So first you understand, so many great scholars and writers have emerged and developed in Gupta period, as like Kalidas, as like Bhavabhuti, Bharvi, Bhartrihari. Very carefully understand the word. Bhartrihari, Banabhatta, Magha. Here there is a printing mistake in your book. Mangha. Actually Magha. Magh is a word. Or Magha. Magha. And many other, as like Shudrak, as like Dandi, as like Vishakhadat. So Bhavabhuti, I have already spoken the name. So means here you understand the list of the scholar. I repeat: Kalidasa, Bhavabhuti, Bharvi, Bhartrihari, Banabhatta, Magha, Shudraka, Dandi, Vishakadatta. Right? So total 9 names I have spoken. Out of these 9 names, some authors' books are not given in book, in your syllabus. So I will not discuss. As like the Magha is the name is given here, Magha. And for the Bhartrihari also the discussion of the book is not done here. So I am not going to discuss. But just I am giving as per the given in the syllabus the name of the scholars. But some scholars' books are given. As like the Kalidas. Kalidas is considered to be greatest poet of Gupta period and ancient Indian Sanskrit literature. He is considered to be greatest poet. His total 9 works are there. 5 dramas, 2 epics and 2 other books. Kumara Sambhav, Raghuvansham, Rutu Samvahara, Meghaduta and Abhigyan Shakuntalam are given here in this chapter. earlier we have discussed in chapter number 2, as like the Malvika Agnimitram, right? Vikramovarshiyam, right? So I am not discussing more, but just I am saying that these are the books of Kalidasa. He is considered to be renowned best scholar of Sanskrit, and his exemplary book has been given best example of Sanskrit dramatic work is Abhigyana Shakuntalam. It's a best example. Everybody could understand this, right? Another one we have discussed about Banabhatta. Okay, Banabhatta is also a great poet. His two works are given here, Kadambari and Harsha Charita. Harsha is the ancient India's one great king, and his lifestyle, life sketch or biography is being given by Banabhatta in Sanskrit. The other one is a Bhavabhuti. Actually, Bhavabhuti had written 3 works, but out of the 3, one is given here, Uttara Ramachari. Other one is a Malti Madhav, and the last one is Mahavira Charitam. So, not to discuss more, but just I am saying that Uttara Ramacharit is his best work. The next one is Bharvi. Bharvi had written Kiratarjuniyam. I repeat, Kiratarjuniyam is the work of Bharvi. Thereafter, Vishakadatta, he wrote Mudra Rakshas. Which book he wrote? Mudra Rakshas. Thereafter, Shudraka. Shudraka had written Mricha Katikam. He had written Mricha Katikam. Next one is the Dandi. Dandi had written Dash Kumar Charita. Which book he has written? Dash Kumar Charita. So now you understand that books on lots of the subjects were written in Gupta period. So it is considered as golden period of literature and arts. So books on political event, books on religious incidents, books on romance, books on comedies, philosophies, everything has been described by these scholars in Gupta period. So remember, Gupta period is considered as golden period of art and literature. Right, my friends? So here I complete discussion of literature of Gupta period, and the statement will be asked for 3 marks. Sometime it could be asked for 4 marks also. So get ready for that. Okay, next one is, see, we are discussing in the ancient period. So you can understand what I mean to say. When I am talking about ancient period, then Gujarati literature is not part of it. Understand? In terms of ancient period, now I am going to discuss about ancient Dravidian literature. Generally, we say that Dravidian literature is written in 4 languages: Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. These are 4 languages of Dravidian culture. So the 4 languages group is considered as Dravidian family of languages. In all these four languages, Tamil is considered to be most oldest in early centuries of Christian era. First century, maybe I could say. So we can understand that early Dravidian literature was written in Tamil language, right? Early Dravidian literature was written in Tamil language. Remember that. Here, according to the tradition, there were four kingdoms, families: Chola, Chera, Pandya, and Pallava. Literary scholars of all these kingdoms gathered, and a convention was held. It is called Sangama, and they created some compositions about politics, about war, about grammar, about love, so many things. The scholars of these all four kingdoms, the scholars of from all four kingdoms had written. So the convention is considered as Sangama. Sangha means gathering. And the literature is written in these all Sangams are considered as Sangam literature. The literature written in these all Sangams is considered as Sangam literature. Remember. So, basic one is Ettu Tokai. Ettu Tokai. See, this is a Tamil word. Ettu Tokai means composition of 8 poems. Second literature is Tolkappiyam. Tolkappiyam means book on grammar. The third literature is Pathu Patu. Pathu Patu means collection of 10 songs. Collection of 10 songs. So again I speak 3 books: Ettu Tokai, Tolkappiyam, and Pathu Patu. These 3 books have been written and described very well. In this period, the great Tamil scholar Tiruvalluvar, as like the Kabir in the Hindi and the northern India, the Tiruvalluvar was equally important and prestigious and well established in the Tamil language. He wrote Kurala. In the book, there is a spelling mistake. Kurai is given, but actual it is Kural. So you must write Kural instead of Kurai. Kural is deal with many aspects of life and religion. It is being spoken in poetic format. So you understand very well that it is a book on poetic way, spoken in the verses. Verses means 2 lines poem. The famous work of early Tamil literatures are, even today it is considered as Shilappadikaram. I repeat, Shilappadikaram, and other one is Mani Mekhlai. Other one is Mani Mekhlai. So you understand very well that the discussion which is given is about famous Tamil literatures. So here I discussed about books of Tamil literature of ancient Dravid books. Again I repeat the names only. The Sangam literature are mainly three: Ettu Jokai, Tolkappiyam and Pathupathu. Early famous Tamil literatures are two: Shilpadikaram and Manimekalai. And the famous Tamil poet Thiruvalluvar had written Kural. So here I again narrate names and books. Names of the person or the names of book and discussion. Okay, my friends. So here I conclude the Tamil literature in ancient period. Now here the question is changed. Discuss about Gujarati prose and poetry of ancient, medieval and modern period. So when I am talking about Gujarati literature, it does not mean that only relate with ancient period, but it is deal with ancient, modern and medieval period. So our Gujarati literature was mainly started with verses, means poetic work, in earlier form of Gujarati language. Means you can say that early literature of Gujarat was in poetic form. Remember, as the time passed, the Gujarati language developed and many literary works started to be composed. So, we can say the glory of Gujarati literature could be start with Narsingh Mehta. I repeat, glory of Gujarati literature will start with Narsingh Mehta. Second, Mirabai. Third, Dayaram. Fourth, Akho. Fifth, Pritam. So you can understand here in a book the name Premchand is given, but I want to make it clear that Premchand is associated with Hindi literature, not with Gujarati literature. Actually, it should be written as, it has to be written as Premanand. So the spelling mistake is again I found here. The book which I repeat the all names: Narsingh Mehta, Mirabai, Dayaram, Akho, Pritam, Premanand, so many other people of that time, Boja Bhagat, Dhiro Bhagat and Bhalana. These names of the medieval period of Gujarat, 5th century to 15th century. So in the 1000 years gap, these scholars have written, have composed. So here I don't want to consider that how they are considered to be scholar. Scholar not in term of the knowledge, scholar in term of presenting the knowledge. They are. As like the Narsingh Mehta had written poems, which can be narrate in the morning, so it is called Prabhatiya. Mirabai had narrated some religious songs which is called bhajans or bhakti pada. Dayaram had written poetic work which is spoken as Garabi. Akha. Okay, another person I could not forget him, Shamal. Shamal and Akha both have written Chappa. I repeat, Chappa. CHHCHHAPPAS. Chappa. Chappa means 6 lines poem. I repeat, Chappa means 6 lines poem. Is written by Akho and Shamal. Premanand had written stories in poetic way, which is called narrative poems. It is in our language, it is called Akhyan. Narrative poems means Akhyan. Narrate the story in the poetic way is called Akhyan. Pritam had also written religious songs which is called Bhakti Pada. Right? Dhiro Bhagat had written some poetic work in Kafi ragas, our classical format. The Kafi is the one kind of the raga. In that raga he had composed some religious songs. So it is considered as Kafi of Dhiro Bhagat. So here I could say that many poetic work has been done by all these people. But as time passed in the modern period, mostly in the British period and later, the prose. Here I discussed about poetry work. Now I am going to discuss about prose. Narmad, Naval Ram Pandya, Kishore Lal Mashruwala, Mahipat Ram Ruparam, Panna Lal Patel, Uma Shankar Joshi. Thereafter, Raman Lal Nilkant, Govardhan Ram Tripathi. These people have contributed a large contribution, as like the Saraswati Chandra of the Govardhan Ram Tripathi. Narmad had started to write Gujarati essays. Right? Ramanlal Nilkant had composed and created one work named as Bhadram Bhadra, which we all study in your Gujarati language subject. Right? Bhadram Bhadra is written by him. Very funny book it is. Thereafter, so many other scholars have come in present days, as like Raghuveer Chaudhary, Sundaram, Dhumketu, Priyakant Parikh. Right? The names which I have narrated in last moment here are considered as our Gujarati literary scholars in modern period. So you remember that all these scholars who have tried to contribute us in their way, they have contributed in the best manner, and they have contributed us in present day. Dramas, essays, traveling accounts, so many things we have got from them. Historical novels is the contribution of the Dhumketu. Poetic work is the contribution of the Sundaram. So you cannot ignore anyone. And in that way, our Gujarati literature become well versed, well established. Right, my friends? So here I concluded discussion about Gujarati literature, and also complete discussion I have done today about ancient Indian literature. Right, my friends?